I'm Pastor Matt, and this is the EMBER Exchange. So whether we're talking about something from our church, something from the scripture, or interviewing a guest, we will do it unrushed, one puff at a time, the same as the best way to enjoy a cigar. Today I want to talk to you about everybody's favorite Bible verse. Or really, if you took a survey of Christians and said, tell me your favorite Bible verse, some of them are going to say, God helps those who help themselves. And well, that's not in Genesis anywhere, and it's not in the Gospels, and it's also not in Psalms or Proverbs, because it's not in the Bible at all. That actually originates from one of Aesop's fables of Hercules and the Wagoner, where a man is taking his wagon to market and he gets stuck in the mud, and he prays to Hercules, the god of strength, to come and help him. And Hercules basically says, put your shoulder to the wheel and push it out of there yourself. And then in 1736, Benjamin Franklin took that story and anglicized it and put it in Poor Richard's Almanac in the form of God helps those who help themselves. Which, while that might be really good advice to a colonist trying to eke out a living in a new world, basically the lessons that teaches is that God shows up once you've already done it. And that just does not align with Scripture in any way. And as we look through the Bible, we see, if you go to the Old Testament, the story of the widow of Zarephath, how there is a famine and she's run out of flour and she's run out of oil and she's got enough left to make one meal. And that's when Elijah shows up and says, well, feed me first. And she's obedient. And then God feeds the family miraculously for months to come. And it happens in the Gospels, where the paralyzed man is let down through the roof by his friends. There was nothing he did or could have done to help himself, yet Jesus healed him. And that exists in the thief on the cross next to Christ, who all he does is say, hey, we deserve to be here, and he doesn't. And Jesus says, you will be with me in paradise. And this is a pattern that exists, is that God helps us when we can't help ourselves. It exists with Israel, when Israel was captive in Egypt and there was nothing they could do to improve their circumstance. God sent Moses to lead them to freedom, and it happens with humanity. When there is nothing we can do to atone for our faults, God sends Christ. And there's a verse in Ephesians chapter 2 that says, by grace we are saved through faith, and that not of ourselves, it is the gift of God. And that is the definition of grace, of undeserved favor. And Aesop's fable and what Ben Franklin said, that is, that went from Aesop to the founding fathers and became adopted as scripture when it isn't. When the pattern that God shows is that God shows up when our strength runs out, not that we're reliant on our own strength, but when we're at the end of our rope, that is when God shows up and delivers us in a way that we don't deserve and in a way that we can never even own or ask for or make happen for ourselves. And I just wanted to share that with you today, because so often I see people in struggle and in a difficult time, and they are just grasping at whatever they can reach out to try to do something for themselves. And we talked in church last week, or the week before last rather, about a scripture that says, be still and know that I am God. And what that is telling us is that we have to relax and lay down the tools that we have to try to do a job we can't do. And then that opens the door for God to come in and do it, when we're not reliant on our own strength, but we're reliant on His. So until next time, I hope that gives you something to think about. Keep your fire burning, keep your cigar lit. Send us your burning questions.